Is your back getting better?
You have to unmute, Sean.
It's been absolutely screaming, injured, just massively bad, but I'll get through it. I will.
Yeah, I sent you that video the day after the last call on the vertigo stuff. Did you get that?
Yeah, thanks, Jim. I sure did, but I haven't had time to even, do anything, period, except for take care of my roommate friend here and his affairs and all that. And it's been really bad. And I went to visit him in the hospital after I called the ambulance on him, and they put me in the emergency room.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, they said, you're going in here.
Yeah.
Get a wheelchair.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have old injuries and but on top of that, we've been having to a lot of ammonia from urine, and we're both real toxic from it because, they haven't helped us. It's a 24-hour-a-day job, and poor Craig, he is fighting like a champ, and wow. It's just, I don't know where to begin or end, but it's just been horrible. And the blood sugar was under control real good, but then there was another problem. And so you guys keep us in your thoughts and, send us some good vibes and help us to get well, because we're tore up, man. I mean, I haven't slept for, I don't know, 3 days. It seems like more than a couple minutes at a time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But, yeah, that's toxic stuff to be breathing on. I mean, they're not helping me to get him the proper equipment. They're depending on me to do it. I don't have time to even think about that. I gotta, what's going to happen next, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, so I do have that problem. Next Monday, it should be totally solved. But yeah, I'm the guilty guy all the time. They gotta, I'm the guy who knows how to get him well better than they ever freaking will. I mean, he gets out of the hospital. It's 286, and then within 2 days, I had it dropped by 163 points, his blood sugar, and then something happened again, and then kaboom! I'm trying to figure it out, but hey, yeah, who wouldn't have a whole lot of problems if there's ammonia? And I mean, talking the strongest, it's way more massive than Mr. Clean, and you can't breathe that stuff; it'll kill you.
Huh.
And so it's been killing us. I'll tell you, we're both toxed up to the max, and we're not getting any help, So, and I'm getting paid. The problem is I'm getting paid for 1 hour a day instead of 90 million. And so that's the problem. Otherwise, I'd have been able to handle this with what I know how to do. But yeah, so I'm a French fry right now. Pardon me, folks. I love you all. Thanks for putting up with my wah story, but I'll pull through it.
Where's the ammonia coming from?
Urine.
Oh,
Urine.
I see.
Yeah. Oh, my God, let me tell you, you could bottle that and destroy a planet. It's extremely strong. And, he's trying so hard, but I can't lift him anymore because I'm so messed up. I mean, I can hardly walk a lot of the times. And it's been a lot of screaming, I'll tell you. A lot of screaming. Me.
Uh,
Pain sucks. But I'll get through it. I'm sorry, you guys. I shouldn't even said anything, man. I mean, because what a way to set the tone for the meeting. Sorry.
No, that's fine, Sean, because I'm glad you did.
Yeah, maybe we'll be able to think of some things to help.
Yeah,
Thanks.
exactly.
Yeah,
Are you not getting any help up there?
No, they're keeping us broke. And you know, at the end of the month, we got to go. You know, I got to go. You know, get food and you know, the free stuff, and it's all carbs and canned corn and, you know, just stuff we don't need. But but yeah, it's been awful tough. I mean, I would have been able to handle this a hell of a lot better if I had just been paid. That's all. You know, just been paid, I'd handle it because I know what to do, and this hands been tied, and yeah. Anyway, yeah. Anyhow, yeah. So, can we change the subject? I'm sorry, you guys. I mean, I want to hear some great stuff going on, you know, or whatever's going on. It'd be great for me.
I kind of just posted that we'd have an open discussion again, and possibly some kind of a decision on the nonprofit. But I've been getting a lot of texts and calls from posts from people saying they're not going to make it tonight. So I'm not quite sure what's going on. Everybody's got a different reason. And most of the people who were involved in the nonprofit, except for you, Sean, are not here. Kimberly put a post up that she dropped out of the group.
oh no.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I know, I'm crushed.
She has some kind of opportunity that came her way dealing with the homeless in her community. So she's needing to focus on that. And as far as everyone else, I don't know. Maybe it's the holiday spirit.
Maybe.
I'm not quite sure.
Well, with Kimberly, wow, you know, my hat's off to her. If she can find a more direct way to do it, she'll come back with us. She will.
That girl is a leader. Yeah, maybe she'll help us figure out how to make a big program out of something good.
Yes. Also, the program yesterday with John Darash of the National Liberty Alliance is important for coming up because the selections, we want to make them elections that we elect who gets in there, and we can start by being committeemen. We count the votes and we interview the candidates, see if they know the Constitution. If they don't, then they either learn it or go away. But that's a start.
Yeah, I listened to half of that. I have to finish it. But what did everyone think of that?
I think he's very knowledgeable on how the law works and how they've changed it so that all these bar lawyers are in Congress, you know, all kinds of levels, the judiciary, everything, and they're not even loyal to the Constitution, so they're really guilty of treason.
Where I'm wondering is, and I was not able to pay attention because of what I was going through, and it's just too brutal to handle.
Uh-oh.
Somehow you unmuted, Sean. Or you muted your mic.
Okay. For me, I was unable to listen, and I've got to bear with through the whole thing again, but it's hard for me to say this, but I don't have a whole lot of faith in that guy yet. And who's going to enforce the committeemen being able to count the votes, so on and so forth, and on and on. And it sounds like to me it's the same thing that it was 20 years ago. I could be massively, totally wrong, and if I am, I hope I am, because I hope he's progressed. I don't know. That's all I know. I'm just letting you know what I know so far.
Yeah, thanks for being honest. I have to admit I agree with you to a certain extent. Some of you probably heard of my involvement with National Liberty Alliance, and that's going back quite a few years, 6 or 7 years. And when I heard that he was coming on Tommy's show last night, I just put everything aside, all my thoughts, and I was just hoping that they were going to provide some new information concerning the common law courts. And, I don't want to knock those people. They obviously have been proceeding all this time, although everything that I heard him talk about was pretty similar to what he was saying 6 years ago. And again, I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt and just see where things went. I only made it through half of the show, like I said. So I'll have to go back and finish it up. And I try not to criticize anybody that's working towards truth, and change. I think there's too much of that. Too many people are calling out other people. I think everybody's just doing the best that they can. Some obviously aren't, and there's definitely many that are, but so we'll see with that. We'll see how that goes. I kind of like to hear if Thomas had comments about that show. Maybe we'll hear something Thursday night.
Yeah, hopefully so. Because he did have some good points and sounded like because they were actually doing things that.
Thank you. I'm back on.
Hi, Debbie. That we could move forward, and it's one way to fill the vacancies that are going to be coming up is to start becoming a committeeman for your city or village or whatever. And since most people don't know about it, you won't be opposed when you're elected. So I think that could be a start. Take that small step and we'll keep going forward.
Well, it's definitely quite the elephant in the room that those guys are dealing with.
Yes.
This injustice system. It's they're embedded. Who was it that somebody was just saying how many lawyers? I think it was Bill Shelley put a post up saying how many lawyers there are in Washington, D.C.
A lot.
they're all
Too many.
They're all
they
lawyers.
all need to go.
And, we let them get away with it because, if I'm not mistaken, it was the 13th Amendment
Yes.
that stated
No titles of nobility.
no titles of nobility. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, attorneys or esquires or whatever. Loyal to the bar.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, there was a show last night with John Duresh, who is the leader of the National Liberty Alliance. You can put into a search engine nationallibertyalliance.org.
Yeah.
And they will come up. And these guys have been building their group that are supposedly going into courts and challenging the entire court system, and by way of their common law knowledge.
Yes. They surprise them with the knowledge, too.
I mean, again, I don't want to knock anybody. That's a tall order.
Yeah, it is.
Have to deal with, hey, hopefully, I think it's going to take more than that to, there's going to have to be some kind of major shakeup in order
the
for.
banks are pretty weak. And like in China that Tommy mentioned the other day.
I saw that post you put up. Yeah.
Yeah. And 500 more could go down. And of course, there's Deutsche Bank, who's already fired 18,000 people because they aren't doing well. And there will be more. We just have to be as ready as we can be.
Yeah, they're all interconnected.
Yes.
By way of the central banks. So it's getting interesting.
It is.
So also, great. Great to hear you talking more, Pam Joni. You're usually kind of quiet, but what you got to say is jam-packed full of great stuff. I admire you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for all your posting on MeWe. Appreciate it. Is it me, or has anybody noticed that everything is real quiet?
Yeah, it is quiet.
The last couple weeks. I mean, nobody's posting anything, and anybody have an opinion on that? What's going on?
Well, I don't really. I was wondering if maybe most of the people that post are on Facebook, and I don't usually see those posts, and I just post on MeWe, or, if they're all on vacation or whatever now.
Yeah, I guess it is just me, because I don't really participate in the so-called holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas. I've known for a long time that they're just fake holidays. It doesn't really have anything to do with me. I spend those days with my children, basically just cooking, and enjoying being with them. Cooking a good meal and having some fun. Go for walks on the beach, and I'm not into all the holiday madness or any of that stuff, because every day should be a holiday. Every day should be.
That's right.
You should have a reason to celebrate, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah. We got washed out from visiting my sister and her daughters and my great grandnieces and nephew. And so I think we'll be able to get together on this Sunday. So it's not on the holiday day. There won't be all the traffic. Probably won't be raining. So we'll be good. And we'll just get to enjoy family together.
Yeah, that is true. You know, I have to admit, a lot of people still have their family traditional holidays, whether they know it's fake or not. You know?
Yeah.
We've been doing it a long time.
Yes. Hard to break old habits sometimes.
Certainly is.
But maybe we should call it our winter holiday. Not Christmas, not winter solstice, just it's winter and the snow's on the ground. Let's put up our Christmas tree, and I'll put in my family heirlooms. My mother and me and sisters made a lot of those ornaments, and so we like to enjoy seeing them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having all new holidays.
Yeah.
Like replacing the 4th of July with Freedom Day.
Yeah.
You know, whenever that occurs.
Yeah.
For real. And we all know that about the Christ thing. You know, I certainly believe in Christ consciousness. You know, but you know, we've all been. It's been explained to all of us, you know, about the Jesus thing. So, I mean, that holiday is completely fake.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a story from a storybook.
Retold over and over and over again for thousands of years.
And we all bought it.
Yeah. Well, you know, our parents, our grandparents gave it to us, you know, and now we have, you know, grandchildren, and it's been done. In my family, I asked them, you know, I only give gifts to the kids, you know, it's just such a horrible burden, you know, Christmas. So we get together and I get something for the kids. And the grandkids keep growing, so, well, I mean, the beautiful part of it, I got grandkids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon?
That's
Yeah.
great.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's been a lot of this weekend and last week shootings, right? I've only been looking at the headlines, so that's been kind of active. And I was really shocked last week to see that Time magazine cover. The elite, the fall of the America's ruling class. Somebody said it on a big magazine right out in front.
Wow.
Wow, I didn't know that. Newsweek?
Yeah.
Didn't either.
Was it Newsweek or Time?
Time magazine.
Yeah, I saw that post. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I was like shocked. And, you know, inside they were saying that, you know, Epstein has kind of shown that it's not just individual situations going on, but a real internal rot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people are talking about that kind of stuff. It's out there. It's out there.
That's great.
Yeah, like Thomas always says, you know, the only thing left is the illusion that they're pushing, you know. Because that's really all it is, you know. they have nothing else to stand on.
Yeah.
So how do you change the illusion? Is it is the word perception, the way people perceive things? You know.
Yeah. Then is that the next step, huh?
I've
Yeah,
always thought the sooner we can get to the media stations and shut them down and create new truth media,
yeah,
you know, that can really expedite things.
yeah, yeah. I think now, you know, people, more people are getting. I know Tommy doesn't like this, the red pill, the blue pill. I see it as coming from the Matrix. That's where I got it from. But you know, more people are. I mean, yeah, people are getting a dose of reality. So you know, the head shaking's going to start. And I've noticed over the last year that people have been getting a lot less. I mean, people are still angry, you know, if they're political, especially if they're, you know, Democrat, liberal. But they're starting to talk about other things, you know, because there's so many more problems than politics. So that's happening. And that was never like that I could see before.
Yeah, you're right. I said the same thing to a friend of mine who sent me some information. He said, I'm sure you know about all this stuff, but I'm going to send it to you anyway. And it had to do with something going on in the Ukraine or something like that. And exposing Biden and Hillary and all this. So it just explained to me where this guy's at. And like you said, people are starting to wake up and see these things that we've all known about for, you know, quite some time. And then he got into he's obviously a Trump supporter, and I was just happy to see that he was posting this stuff and sending it to other people, because I got to a point with him that I stopped sending him things because I didn't think he was listening. I didn't really think he cared to know, you know. And like we're in that situation with a lot of people, including family. But the last thing I said to him was, you know, I'm really glad to see this. I said, just think about the fact that 5 or 10 years ago, and Tommy says this all the time, 5 or 10 years ago, nobody knew any of this stuff, you know? So that's how quickly this information hotline and truth movement has really taken effect, you know?
That's really amazing. You know, that it really
exposing
hasn't been that long a time, and you know, we've really brought them down, and they've been around for thousands of years and tyrannizing people. So now it's our turn to tyrannize them with good and giggle bombs.
Mm-hmm.
I just love those Pam Joni-isms. That's another good one, Pam Joni.
Yes. Better than any news. It makes a million paper cuts on them before they even know, you know, there was a giggle that did that.
And at least they had a medium. I know they had a medium that they used to control us, but at least it was, you know, something happened so that we could take it away from them. I still wonder what's going to happen though when the trust does get open. I mean, they have so many things, avenues to them still open that people don't know about. Well, hopefully everybody will really know the truth. I mean, all of it.
Yes.
And then it will stop. we expected it to come pretty quickly, and we don't know what it's going to look like, but I think it's happening.
I agree.
Yeah, I keep thinking of going back to not far back when this thing got started and how they've fallen apart. And it's amazing. I think it's reveals to me what how powerful human beings can be, and if we can achieve that with knowledge and love in our heart, and they're falling apart that bad in that short of a period of time. Wow, that's quite. That blows me away. I'm blown away by it.
Yeah,
I
Thomas
still feel so. Go ahead, Tim.
Thomas had a good way of putting that, in his last show, saying that we're going up faster than they're going down.
Uh-huh. They're going down into the abyss.
Yeah. Amazing.
I personally feel I feel so small and broken, and yet I've always hoped I could be part of helping us be great, happy, peaceful, loving, fun, partying with each other, just making a good life together, without so much to be afraid of. I envision this every single night. Our bright future, and I still don't really see it. It's so hard to really see that it can really happen because because of the money thing. I know there's some ideas. She's got some kind of idea, Kimberly, of how she wants to pass it out to us. Hopefully, we'll be able to protect it.
Yeah. Debbie, jewel in the jewel, not in the rough, a jewel in the jewel. Debbie, this gal went out, and you had mentioned this on the program that you were kind of an introvert, and an introvert doesn't like going out and finding strangers, men, farmers, so on and so forth, and trying to get things organized for the THI group. And Debbie went out there and did that. Oh man, my hat's off to you, because everybody's had stage fright before, whether they've been on a stage or not, but to be kind of leaning towards introverted and going out there and doing that, oh, you are the best, Debbie.
Thanks, Sean. It's very, very small, but
it was large.
I don't know.
Are you kidding me? Large.
I met another.
Too.
There's another one of our neighbors that I talked to last week, and he's a retired coach and still does some training with kids on the side. And he used to be on the city council of San Carlos. And it was he is a good guy. It was so fascinating to talk to him. So he's been, for 10 years, he was on the inside and saw some really bad behavior. I mean, when you're in the in crowd, you get all the deals, the good jobs, that's where the money flows. And so anyway, now I know somebody fluent in that kind of arena right here.
Yeah. Wow.
And he's good guy.
That's a good ally, I'll tell you. The in crowd.
Right?
I've been in the out crowd a long time.
Yeah, that's going to be us. We're going to
too.
be the in crowd. Hopefully one of these days we can, all meet together.
Yeah.
And spend a weekend together and
No
really
kidding.
get some brainstorming going.
And hey, break bread, have a feast. Oh man. Outside, huge picnic tables. Yes, indeed. What would you like?
I think
Let
that
me
was
serve you up.
I think that was actually part of the original guidelines. Also, is to have I don't know if it was quarterly or bi-yearly or yearly gatherings. Put together by the groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, we can't all afford to do something like that.
Yeah, that seems to be the biggest problem right now. Everybody's in a bind.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
going to be going down to San Diego. I think it's the second week in February. So maybe we can, meet at Balboa Park or something and say hi. Yeah.
I would definitely do that.
Right on.
I appreciate doing
that. I'd like that.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. My son asked me to come up. This is the first Christmas, actually, that, he met a girl and he's getting married next year.
Awesome.
So her family is like from Manhattan Beach area, if you know where that is.
Yes.
And he lives in Redondo. He knows that I'm not a Christmas kind of guy, but her family is. They're into all the festivities. So he called me last night and said, would you be interested in coming up and just watching the house and hanging out with his cat?
Sounds fun.
Sounds good, Jim.
And I've always told him I can come up whenever you want me to. And so he asked me, and I just said, yeah, I'll do that. And both him and my daughter are flying up to Grass Valley area, actually Colfax, where their mom has a perma farm. And they, too, are into all the Christmas festivities and all that, So it's actually good for me because it works out. This way I don't have to participate and nobody gets mad at me. I just tell them, do whatever you want for Thanksgiving and Christmas. If you want to hang out with me and we'll just cook and have some fun, great. If you want to go hang out with your family and exchange presents and all that stuff, that works too. It's kind of like enjoy who you're with.
Right.
For the holidays. That's the way I see it.
I agree.
So even if it's one person or 4 people, such as tonight, I enjoy it.
Me too.
Oh, me too. This is nice.
Yeah, to me, this is really special because
when I think about it, this is the way it started. Right, Sean? And Pam?
Yeah.
There was only 3 of us on the call.
Yeah.
For weeks. 3 or 4 of us.
How many people do we have that are left, or what happened? I mean, the holidays happened, but people were dropping off before that. But wow, we were making some progress, and I think we still are. And I think the thing that Demi was trying to design could be absolutely incredibly beneficial to us. And I would love to hear from the other people again, because I was pretty negative about the situation about in the entity and what it was going to be, incorporated, non-incorporated, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I hope I didn't offend anybody, but yeah, here it is. And I hope nobody thinks that I'm being too negative or too starchy or what have you. I'm just telling the truth. That's all.
That's all you can do,
Just
Sean.
the truth,
And I don't think that's the case at all. It's
Good.
just,
Right.
and I agree with you.
Right.
A lot of those things you definitely, especially now, you need to be cautious with some of these things that we were going to get into, like Corporation Soul. I never even looked at it because there wasn't any information on it for me to find. So until Ken presented all that.
Yeah.
And after seeing that, it made me realize we don't want to deal with that. That's not for us.
Bishops or popes.
Or like Sean
that
said,
doesn't work for us.
Or like Sean said, the Church of Wonder Bread.
Yeah, the Holy Fellowship of Wonder Bread. Who wants to be the Pope? Yeah. God.
So even though it's taken some time, like Thomas always says, this isn't a race. At least let's discuss this thoroughly, and then come to a good decision. That everybody's comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah. Can I change the subject a little bit?
Sure. Open discussion.
Okay. Is it okay with everybody?
Sure.
Of course.
Hi, Michael.
Okay. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael J.
What's up there, dudes?
How are you, Mr.
Yeah, not bad.
Mr. Joaquin, not Joaquin. Can you let Thomas know it's not Joaquin, it's Joaquin?
It's all good, it's whatever. Yeah.
I know, but wow.
Carry on. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Oh yeah, you don't want to steal the thunder. But anyway, go ahead, Michael. We need to hear from you. It's nice of you to join us, please. And I'll bring up my stuff in a minute or whatever. Yeah. So
I don't know.
How are you?
Not bad. I got nothing really. Well, we just had to we're to pop off a few gremlins off of the website who were up to no good, but we got that figured out. So,
Is that what that was all about?
It has, it has something to do with the theme, as WordPress calls it. It's their language. It has something to do with the theme. It does something to the coding in the back of it. I don't know what it means, but sometimes it turns the site sideways, and I'm just like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to uninstall that thing and put in something else. That's it. Yeah. It's all good.
Well, I'm glad you knew what to do with it.
Yeah,
I was getting all these emails from WordPress and Bluehost, and I was like,
which is why I sent you the PM. It's like, Jim's gonna go riding off the rails on that. Wonder what's going on. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's all good.
You've done a great job on that. Go ahead.
Yes,
Sean, I'm
did.
sorry.
Oh, hey, no problem. My apologies. About the frequencies coming in, the high G pitch, I only got one of those for about 8 seconds. And then Tommy was talking about that it's kind of over. There's, been a deadline that's passed and so on and so forth. I sent him an email going, hey, I only got one of those for about 8 seconds. And he said, don't worry, it comes in waves. Well, I haven't gotten one since. How's everybody else doing in there right here with that download?
I'm still getting them.
Are you?
Yes.
I'm jealous.
They don't last long.
Uh-huh.
It's there.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Hi there. And then it's gone.
It hit me the morning after you mentioned it, Sean. And it seems like whenever somebody mentions the what is it, the Schumann resonance, or the G waves, whenever I see a post where somebody mentions that, no doubt about it, within a very short time, it hits me. This time I have to admit it was mild compared to some of the other cycles I went through, like a couple months ago. It was every 3 days I was hit with like that major vertigo, and
oh wow,
yeah,
wow.
this time it was real mild. But I woke up and this woman put a post and she said, it feels like the whole earth is shaking and trembling. So I went outside on the balcony to just sit and get some sun, and I put my feet up on this bench, and I noticed that my legs were shaking.
Wow.
all the muscles in my legs, my calf muscles, were like literally shaking. And I was like, and I felt real dizzy, and but again, it was still mild compared to a couple months ago.
Wow.
So maybe the earth is trembling.
To it.
Wow. Anybody else? Debbie, are you getting the downloads?
Gee.
Looks like she's getting one right now.
Yeah.
She kind of got froze there, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't have enough light in here, so I have to leave the video off. I'd be just a dark shadow in a dark room.
Debbie's trying to speak, but she's not coming
I have a
through.
question. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Dang it. Can't hear anybody.
Oh.
We hear you, hon.
Your screen is frozen.
All right. My internet is going in and out.
That's what it is, yeah. It doesn't take long for people who in the group to start posting that information, about the waves. I asked, I don't know if anybody knows Laura Ann. She's always posting about that, and I had to ask her, is it just us? Is it just the people in our group feeling it because we know that it's present and taking place? Because I never hear anybody in the outside, I don't know how else to say it, in the outside world complaining about the energy waves.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah. Sad for them.
Yeah.
Sad.
Well, anyway, back to celebrations. Yesterday, we had a bus trip one of our shopping expeditions. We went to Irvine Spectrum, and my son had texted the night before, are you working tomorrow? And I wasn't. And so I recommended that maybe he meet us there. And so I went to Barnes and Noble. I like to read books, and so I look at books. And they met me there, and we went to Veggie Grill and had lunch, and it was really nice day getting together with them. Say they work and I work, and it's not easy for us all to get together. So that was a celebration day for us.
Great. That's great, Pam Joni. Well, Christmas Day used to be the best day fishing, but I'm way up here, so that's what.
You mean there's no fish where you are?
Oh, there's tons of them, but it's too cold to go do anything.
Yeah, cold here too now.
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday, that's what I'd do. I'd be fishing. Hey, I got the place to myself.
Yeah.
Is there a
But
river?
yeah, Christmas was always such a burden. That's when I started getting, when I found out the Santa Claus thing was a bunch of bullshit, right? And so, oh my God, after that, I just started challenging the Catholic school and the Catholic church, and I had to serve a 10-year sentence in Pinocchio school. Parochial school. But,
Pinocchio school.
Anyway, yeah, that was something else. Yeah, I got to learn about what hypocrisy was, but thankfully I got to learn what truth was, from my relatives who were great, my aunts and uncles, and especially my mom and dad. They were tremendously. They had a ton of integrity. They just did not know any better than the Catholic Church. It was their programming, and that's what they did. And they were all in the wars, grandpas rather, and uncles and father and all that stuff, and so yeah, they thought it was the right thing to do, and boy, I sure don't want to pay for their karma, because
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't involved in it. I don't think that's right. I mean, I didn't bomb anybody.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, really, so here I am. I've had quite a run of some injuries and different things not work out in my life, but I've always fought and bucked all the bullshit of Santa Claus on up, and I always thought the priests were a bunch of damn perverts, and wow, it just maybe it kind of backfired on me, or maybe I just had to pay for their karma, because I'm going, God, with this kind of luck, what was I, reincarnated from Hitler or something? I used to ask that. Yeah, but I didn't take it out on other people and go, okay, well, I'm going to become a criminal. Wah, 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 woe is me. I'll just take it out on everybody else and go, rob somebody or something, or become a drug addict or an alcoholic or something. So I did maintain pretty good. I'll shut up now.
Looks like Debbie's back.
Picture froze again.
So where was that, Sean, where you were forced into that cult?
Oh, Catholic school? Pinocchio school?
Pinocchio, I like that.
Yeah. Instead of parochial, right? But,
Yeah.
well, that was at Scared Heart. And it was, Sacred Heart. Yeah. Sacred Heart. And, yeah, Scared Heart. Fitting, huh?
Yeah.
And, so, of course we threw rocks at the nuns. Okay.
Let's throw those rocks at us. It's Sean, of course.
Oh, yeah. We weren't as mean to them as they were to us, that's for sure. But it was definitely psychological warfare, and oh God, you learn how to get gaydar real quick by being around a bunch of their ilk, Yeah, that priest is gay. Yeah, that brother is gay. And he's teaching Spanish. Yeah, don't go away for the weekend with him.
Yeah.
For real. And then we had Father Dick Flickinger. That was his name. It's serious, man. Oh, he'd come in and he'd have posters in his little teeny room, and he'd come into the he'd go find you during gym just when you were changing your clothes so he could check you out.
Of course.
No kidding. And then, okay, I want you in my office in 15 minutes, and then he'd give you this. He's bigger than I am. I'm 14, and he gives me this gorilla hug and a Spock. It was during the Star Trek days, right?
Oh.
Pretty way back, right? And he was just grip everybody on their shoulder blade to make them just scream in pain and tell them, Jesus loves you. Jesus loves you. He talked like Mr. Rogers and kind of looked like him too. He got busted for perversion later, but to be sitting there in your gym shorts and him staring at your crotch going, so tell me, Sean, do you masturbate? That was the first question he asked me.
None of your
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding you. I told my dad about that, and he says, oh, boy. All right, so none of that ever happened.
Yeah. Bless me, Father, I do.
It was, oh, boy. My dad was just, so he had some words with him. And everybody else for years after that had not been harassed by him, to tell you the truth. And then shortly after that, I was basically the brothers and priests and whatever told my parents that they should let him get out of Catholic school. I don't think it's right for him, Bob and Ora Neal, my parents. And so, so I got out of there and escaped and went to public school, and it was like heaven compared to that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was this in California?
Oh, yeah, I was in Fresno, California.
Wow.
Yeah. San Joaquin Memorial Correctional Institute.
I didn't know
That's
they had
what I
it in
called
California.
it. That's just what I call it. It was a high school, but
I went through all that indoctrination on the East Coast.
Did you really? I didn't know you were from there.
Originally, yeah, New York, New Jersey area.
Wow.
Yeah, up in the mountains in northern New Jersey, the Ramapo Mountain, Appalachian Mountain Range.
Oh, wow.
I had a Catholic school right in my backyard.
Oh.
I literally could walk to school, and it was kind of a good thing because I used to come home with a black eye all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah, these crazy nuns that they put us in.
They do it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought.
I used to wonder, if they taught kickboxing classes and what boxing classes in the convent.
Yeah, really.
Because these nuns didn't even think twice. If you stepped out of line, they would whack you right in the side of the head. I used to come home with a black eye, and I'd come, like I said, the school was in my backyard, so I used to walk through the woods, and I'd come home, and I'd walk in the door, and my mother would be standing there, and I come in with a black eye, and she goes, "What happened to you?" And I said, "Sister so-and-so hit me because I didn't even get it out of my mouth. What happened?" And my mother hit me in the other eye.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So things have changed. I have to admit that. From back then, because it sounds like a lot of us. I've heard a lot of stories from people in THI, that went through the Catholic cult system. When Thomas first said that, I almost fell out of the chair.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, to be battered like that, and to be still in the learning stages of who you are, and that's awful tough. And to me, to be lied to about everything from Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy on up, and God, it was tough on me. And so by the time, and I was born in 1954, right? I'm 65, and so by the time I reached about 18, 19, then I found out from a book by a guy, David Warnicki, about the corruption in the government and all that stuff, and how there are no accidents in politics, and then information was extremely scarce since 1972 until the internet came around. But I just wanted to find out the truth. How do things really work? I mean, that's the only reason besides I was tired of getting myself in trouble financially because I was broke, couldn't afford to stay healthy or do what have you, right? But that's why I got into financial planning, get into the bowels of that. Okay, how do things really work? And then what it comes down to is, gold. It's a precious mineral. Precious? It's a mineral that is useful. It's good for the immune system, and it's shiny. And then the other's paper with dead dudes on it, right? I mean, what worth is that when it comes down to in the future, frequency is going to be, for lack of a better word, the currency. Love is going to be the currency. And imagine how great things could have been if there wasn't the prison system of money just slammed over us like a huge global wide jail cell, Wow.
Yep, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and try to explain that to people, or even some millennials, for instance, explain, how fake that whole system is. And
yeah.
On for many Christmases, I used to, when I was living up in Tahoe, my kids were down here. I used to come down here, and I'd show up, and I'd just hand out a blank card, Christmas card, with a couple of ounces of silver taped to the inside. And these kids would just they'd shake the card and they go, "Up, Dad's Dad's giving us his presents. And they'd open them up. You know, there'd be a couple of silver eagles in there, and they'd all just, these kids in the house would just look at me like, what the hell are we going to do with these?
Yeah, they wanted to peel them and get the chocolate underneath it, right?
They have no clue. I just said, stick them under your bed and leave them there.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. You know, the things that we've gone through. But it's really amazing with the frequency, because and how that all works, and how that's what we are, and how far we've come. Like what you quoted Thomas is saying, how far we've come, and how destructive they've been to themselves, because we are aware and we have love in our hearts. And I want love to be the frequency and I wish I had another love to be the frequency. I mean, the currency, but I hate to use that word currency because it means something else. But you all know what I mean. I'd hate to say money, but well, not bad coming from a greedy financial planner like me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, I got called greedy. Sean, you're too greedy. Really? I just saved their tails.
Yeah.
And I'm greedy? God. Oh, man. I'm not a stockbroker. I'm greedy? That's unreal. Yeah, but people, as soon as you mentioned the word money and planning, is the stipulation goes pretty negative, you know, as to where, well, that's evil and so on and so forth. But it has been in the past, by the right people, used as a even spiritual tool to help other people out. I mean, if it helps them out and the intent's there, then that's what it is, and it's a good spiritual tool. But that's the only thing I did with it. And yeah, what a long haul. But yeah, it's been dawning on me over the years, and I've been thinking about, well, what am I going to do with the dawn of the new situation? Because I'm 65. I'm going, okay, well, I can't just ruin my health forever, damn it, you know. And I'm way more talented than to be a glorified dishwasher, you know, caregiver, lifter-upper, you know. But the most important thing was being a friend to another human being who's a good human being, who needs the help and deserves the help. That's the ticket. But 45, 55, yeah, I'll have to find my way. But I don't know what's going to happen, because, like I was saying 3 or 4 months ago, it's all fiat money. I don't know what to do. By God, Jim, you are so smart. You're brilliant, Jim. Yeah, because you did it right. Most
I'm not
people
saying
don't.
that's the end all. I'm not saying it all.
I know.
End all, but it might help you. It might help you get through some tough times. You know.
Heck yeah.
Through the transition.
Yeah.
You know. And that's the only reason I would give it to the kids, because they don't understand. They have no clue. You know.
Yeah.
They think that those pieces of paper with numbers on them are the you know, the end all. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're in for a big surprise.
Yeah, and it might come fairly soon. Who knows?
Yeah. Wow. I met this gal, and I thought I was walking into a credit union because of the name of the place, but it's not a credit union, and it's actually a bank. And so I met her, and she's the runs the bank, president, vice, whatever of the bank, and she's and I just really hit it off. Super great. She closed the door in her office, and we're talking, and we get talking about as far as blue chickens, THI, everything within 20 minutes. Yeah.
Oh.
And hugging each other and walking out, and I'm going to come back. I'll open up an account. I did check her financials out on her bank, and they're better than all the credit unions around this area by quite a bit, and they're solvent. And I want to get back there to her, but she wants to join the group. I haven't been able to get back to her. It's just, and what a doll. I mean, she's about 4'2", and about, I don't know, 60 years old or something like that, and just a ball of fire, but a ball of intelligence. I mean, she had followed everything I said, and I said, and she went to a few of those, the screaming poodle extravaganzas that they have at the desert, whatever they're called, with David Wilcock and the other
Contact in the desert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she goes, yeah, I went to that. And I go, they're CIA, She goes, they're all CIA, Sean. I know that. Yeah, so I can't wait to get back to that gal and visit with her. You'd all like her a lot. I mean, a really genuine person. Can you imagine walking in and talking about that to the president of the bank branch, and then walking out getting hugs and telling, oh, yeah, I know they're all CIA, Sean, within 20 minutes. Be sure to come back and open up an account with me. Okay, I'll send you the information on the group. And I just, all kinds of other stuff just kind of swarmed me up. So, but, yeah. So, yeah, hopefully I can get her squared away. But, it's raining, snowing, stuff like that, and busy here. But, yeah, what a sweet gal, man. You guys would really just like her a lot. Totally genuine person. Very, very funny, too. You got to have some fun.
Yeah, it's interesting, the people that you meet. I told Thomas my story about Contact in the Desert. I think this was like it was 2015, and it was the last one they had up in Joshua Tree.
Uh-huh.
And I couldn't afford to buy a ticket, but I kept getting emails from Contact in the Desert. I guess I signed up for it, and they sent me this one email, and it said, click here if you want to volunteer. So I did, and this woman got back to me right away. And she said, I'd like to do a FaceTime with you, and so we can discuss, what your reasons for attending, and where I can place you as a volunteer. So I said, fine. So she set up this date, and I got on with her, and immediately she said, after talking for about 5 minutes, she said, I know just where to use you. And I said, great. And she said, are you a cop? And I said, no, not at all. I said, I'm just interested in the information. I've read most of the material from all of the people all of the speakers. And, I'm just, I just have wanted to come out there and get to, meet these people and see their conferences. And she said, the reason she asked me if I had these sunglasses on, and she said, well, you look like a cop. And she said, I could use you in security. And I said, great, I can do that. She goes, this way you'll be able to get into the conferences. And she goes, really all you'll have to do is, stand in the back of the room and, make sure everything is cool in the room, no problems. And she said, because, occasionally things get a little testy out here. And I said, great. So I was in the beach area at the time, and I just set up a time to meet her like the night before it started. And I came in from Palm Springs to Joshua Tree by shuttle, and just walked in, and there she was right on time. And she said, okay, great. She goes, I need you to show up first thing in the morning. And she said, let me walk you over to the campground. There wasn't much hotel space. Usually the people, the speakers, took up most of the hotel spaces. So it was a huge camping facility. And that's all I had with me. I just brought a tent, backpack, and a tent. And so she took me over to the area, and I got one real close to the venue, so I could get up in the morning and get right in there, which I did. And I come down, and she said, okay, I need you to go into this room over here. And she said, I need you to hand out packets to all the people that are coming in that purchase tickets. She said, all their names are in the envelopes. And she said, I need you to hand these out. So, as I'm doing this woman walks in, and we just kind of locked eyes. And she comes walking towards me, and she walks up in front of me and she goes, hi, I'm Patty Greer. And I said, you changed your hair. And she started laughing. She said, how do you know that? I said, I've seen your videos. I know who you are. And so she just started laughing, and I gave her a packet, and she just kept looking at me strange, like. So within an hour, everybody got their packets, and she released us. And I had a conference, my first conference. I forget who it was, just up the ways a bit. And I was walking up there to go in, and I looked over, and there's Patty Greer sitting behind this table. And that's what they did. The speakers not only were there to do theirs, but they were also there to sell videos and, books, buttons, things like that. Yeah. With aliens on them and stuff like that. So I look over, and she's sitting there, and again, we lock eyes. So I walk over, and she goes, what are you doing now? I said, well, I didn't get to tell you, but I said, I'm working security here, and I have my first meeting that I have to be in is right over here. And she said, well, how long? I said, about 10 minutes. So she goes, great. She goes, I really need to talk to you. And I'm like, all right. So I sat down with her, and she goes, I'm being stalked.
Oh, boy.
And I went, by who? And she said, well, she goes, I can't tell you right now, but she goes, you're in security. She goes, I need to speak to the head of security. And there was about 10 of us that volunteered for this. And then there was this head security guard, who was the only one that had a gun, and he happened to be David Wilcock's private bodyguard at the same time. And he got us together, and he told us when we first got there, he said, you know, just be cool, be nice to people, you know, and if you have any major problems, he goes, just go down the line, and it'll get to me. So after Patty Greer told me what was going on, she said she was being stalked and she was being attacked psychically. So I didn't really know what most of this stuff was about at the time, and I just said, okay, let me get the head of security up here because I got to go into this conference. And so I ran down to this tent and got a hold of this guy, and he came up, and I just said, Patty's right over there. Why don't you talk to her, and she'll explain what's going on. And I went into my conference. And then when I came back out, she was still there, and I walked over and sat down, and she said, thank you so much. She goes, you have no idea what I've been through with this guy. And I don't know, some of you might know what had taken place at this particular event. Thomas knew of it. I contacted him as soon as I got back and told him my story, and he was saying, yeah, that's why I tell people not to go to those things because there's all kinds of that psychic attacks going on. Patty was hit pretty hard. I don't know if you know that story. She's been on YouTube, her videos explaining what had taken place, and the person that attacked her was the guy who was the head of Gaiam TV. I can't think of his name. Bald guy. What's his name? I don't remember. Yeah, he was a bald guy.
Baldy locks.
real strange looking, evil son of a bitch.
Ooh.
But yeah, and Patty wound up with her hands shaking all the time, and she had all kinds of rashes and whatnot all over her hands. And this was the same guy that stole all of her videos. I don't know if you know, Patty Greer is the woman that produced the movies about crop circles.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Thomas has told this story before. And anyway, when I got back, I got a hold of Thomas and told him what had happened, you know. And
oh boy.
I mean, it was just, for me, it was a real mind blower being out there for like 3, 4, 5 days and witnessing all this stuff that was going on that I didn't even realize was going on at the time, you know, until later on when Patty started talking about it, and she had a lawsuit against Gaiam TV for stealing all of her videos. And that's when I got clued in about David Wilcock and Corey Good, because before that, yeah, I was subscribed to their, what was it, Divine Cosmos?
Yeah.
You know, I used to read all that guy's literature. I read all his books, you know. And then right after that is when Thomas hit us with all that information. It's the crazy stuff, the people that you come across, you know, and the coincidences that, like you were saying, Sean, about this woman, you know, that you just start talking to, and they, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, I think she's straight up. I really do. I think she's good soul. We'll see. But oh yeah, and listening to George Norrie and his programs and whatnot. There was this guy who got teletransported up to Mars, who was running for president in 2015. Yeah, I spoke with him over the phone too. Yeah, and he's an estate planning. Yeah, and then he's an estate planning attorney. in Washington, no, Oregon, and he does business in California. So maybe we could do some business together because what I do and what they do can go hand in hand. And anyway, yeah, boy, yeah, I think he's another plant whack job though myself. Yeah. Anthony Basaggio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I spoke with him for an hour and a half, man.
Huh.
Yeah, he's from the future. Yeah, look at his picture. He's in the picture with the Gettysburg Address. There he is. Yeah, there's so much crap going on out there, and it comes at a time where there's just so much. It's like with a lot of the YouTube and a lot of the MeWe even is just I gotta just pass it up. I'll read the titles and go, yeah, I already know what's going to happen there. Duh, because all of us are the same way. I think is instead of listening to the whole. I cannot stand listening to more. I'll skip the first 5 minutes and get past the super duper flashlight commercial and go to SGT for it. Then I'll go to the first couple minutes of that, and then I'll skip clear to the end and go, oh, okay, yeah, all right, knew it. But I just I have to skip through that stuff. I don't have I don't want to suffer through it because it's like Thomas says, it's the same old crap all over again, huh?
Yep.
Loop news.
Yeah, loop news. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, it's coming around again. Loop-de-loop.
Yeah. But it is serving a purpose for the newer members, Yeah, I wish there was more time for the frequencies for the newer members. If that is how it goes. But something that really bothered me was Tank. And, well, he gets rather annoying to me from time to time, and Bitcoin Bob. Yeah, Bitcoin Bob with the whack job music. Bitcoin Bobby. Yeah, hi, everybody. What's his name? Lutz, Dan Lutz, and wow, just if it is true, divulging that Kim's so hard up, she's working part-time as a house painter, and she used to own banks. And that's how much she's sacrificing. And, I just, I'll go to him, but I can only tolerate so much. But to be talking about that, about Kim, whether it's true or not, it's just not good PR.
Not important information.
Yeah. And I hope it's not true, God. Yeah, so much has gone on. I mean, there was this gal from the Netherlands, and she was one of my pals, and she was really great and really knowledgeable and helped me to understand a lot of things about what she was posting, and genuine person. And as it turns out, well, she's a high priestess of the, I don't even remember the name of the place, the organization. I read their 1,000-page book, which is supposed to transform your life if you read their chants. And I'm going, not a chance I'm going to do that because I don't know what they really mean. but I did read it, and it was fascinating and everything. Oh yeah, I was supposed to take over instead of Kim and Thomas. And then and I'm going, oh, okay, yeah, right. Okay, yeah, chat on that. And I'm going, all right, well, if it's the shit hits fan, I'll just let Tommy know. And so I didn't trust them at all. And then they started sending me all this crap about the Germain Trust.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, it never has. I looked that thing up like a million years ago. It's like, and the rest of them, and all this stuff to be planted to all these phony places, and I just, oh God. And then they got kicked out of the group, and thankfully I didn't get guilt by association. I think Tommy knows he can trust me. And yeah, like I could handle Kim's deal.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, right. I told him, I said, yeah, I could make sure money's supposed to get to where it's going to get going if there is a way to get it going there. And I don't think you got a way, but if there is, okay, well, let me know. Sure. Yeah, and thankfully they got kicked out of the group. Yeah, and Karen got kicked out of the group. Karen Carpenter. Oh man, and we have other people that have not been participating in the meetings. Man, I really thought Janelle was really going to be a tremendous help, to me, and maybe she will in the future because she knows her stuff, But I'm afraid maybe she was just kind of trying to recruit, get customers. I don't know. I don't want to be a unfair judge, but yeah, but we're getting down to the nitty gritty of the people that are here that have been on in the last month. Wow, I'm okay. Hey, that'll do. If that's the way it is, I think they're all great. And the other ones, life happens, and I want them to come back. We need their help too, especially Kimberly. But if she can get be of more help elsewhere, because Chico is really going through an extremely hard time with the homeless, and I respect her for doing that. I think she'll be back with us. I hope, because she's a smart gal,
She is.
Yeah, great gal, I think. Yeah. Whatever happened to the rest of them? They just kind of got busy, huh?
Yeah, they faded away.
There's a lot of people, like I said, that I know for a fact look at posts on Facebook. Just about every post that goes up on the Facebook page, there's 23 to 25 people that at least took a look at it. A very few put a like. Most don't comment at all. But when I go through that, you can click on people that have seen this post. And if I scroll down, and it's people I have never heard from since day one. People still join. I got a guy in last week on the MeWe page.
Yeah.
I announced it.
Yeah, I remember welcoming him.
And then you don't hear from him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't hear it all. So I don't know. That's a tough one to figure out, I mean, I don't make any assumptions about anybody because these are crazy times, Yeah,
they are.
A lot of people are going through some serious financial problems and family matter problems,
Yeah.
It's difficult, and struggling with their careers, and like you said with Kimberly, bombarded by this homelessness problem that she was actually the one that activated that whole homeless situation that went on for 3 weeks. You know.
Yeah. For us,
brought it to everybody's attention. So, you know, I said from the beginning, I'm just going to roll with this and see where it takes us. You know. And you know, that hasn't changed.
Yep. Well, we'll outlast the cabal for sure, because all they can do
there you go.
is spend other people's money, and of course they're pretty much out of it. And so, well, here we are. We're waiting. We'll be ready.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, in order to build a new house, you got to burn the old house down.
Or at least take it apart so you can reuse the usable materials.
Yeah. Dismantle's another word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I liked about last night with that guy John. He did say some good things, and one of them was, you know, the fact that we need to have people ready to step into these positions that are going to be eliminated. You know,
and that's what Tommy has said too.
Yeah, all the time. You know,
be ready.
If it happens tomorrow, are you ready? What are you going to do? You know, pop the champagne. Then what?
I'll probably do what I usually do.
Okay, we lost Debbie.
Yeah. I guess her internet went out again.
I fell asleep there for a second.
All right. Well, this was fun.
It sure was.
Yeah.
It was refreshing, you know.
Yeah.
I think we went through a number of weeks of high intensity.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's probably a good time to take a break from all that. And I always enjoy just hearing from people and hearing of their experiences, you know, because we all have a common denominator in this group, you know. You know, like Sean just popping out the Catholic school situation.
Oh yeah.
Pinocchio school.
I've heard it from so many members, you know. So we were chosen back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I guess we volunteered as soon as we found out Santa Claus didn't exist, huh? That really pissed me off.
Yeah, me too.
I was told not to lie.
In first grade, and someone said Santa was dead. What? No! Where's our toys going to come from? Well, they came from Mom and Dad like they usually did.
Yeah. Oh, hey, can I say goodnight, you guys?
Yeah, why don't we call it a night?
Okay.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming, everyone. I really appreciate it, and I'll be here again next Wednesday.
You, Jim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want
Get
to.
better, Sean.
Hey, makes my week. Oh, I will. I promise. You guys.
Hey, Sean, before you go,
he'll get better too.
Is this your phone number? I wrote down your number you gave out. Is this 508-272-1837? Oh, that's not you? Okay,
no.
I have it somewhere.
Oh,
I wrote it down. I was going to give you a
a
call this
mystery
week.
number.
Oh, yeah. Call me
See
anytime
what
you want, my
happens.
friend.
Yeah, I'll
That'd be
find it.
great. You know,
want-
everybody from the groups is welcome to call me. You know, THI California.
I wanted
I
to
don't know
talk to you
about that.
about that housing information that you were never able to bring to the group.
Oh, okay. Wayback Machine.
Yeah, it was a few weeks ago or more. Months. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'll call you on it.
Okay.
Hey, call you on
I'll
it.
be called on the carpet
You have
on
a black eye. Whap!
Yeah, I
Then we'll put you in the hot seat.
yeah. Well, I got another, as I always do, and I hope that I'm sure everybody else did here, a warm feeling in their heart. Frequency, the love frequency, right? You know,
Uh-huh.
and that's where it's at. I mean, it just buries all the resentment, and all the crap that we have to go through in life day to day with all the strife and their crappy construct that we've been slammed into,
Uh-huh.
And so I deeply appreciate both of you and everybody else in the group, and I love you all, and I'll see you next week.
Okay, be safe. Have fun.
Big hugs.
Big hugs. Love you guys.
Everybody.
Yeah. Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.